Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome back to my channel. So yeah, I know you're back again to listen to my rants because that's usually or basically the topics or my content. Mostly rants, calling out stuff that I think that is not right and just talk about it and like tell you what is wrong about certain thing that I don't like. So yeah, but this video is actually about the video that I posted last week, and it's about Filipinos. The misconceptions of Filipinos in the Philippines about Filipinos living abroad. And there are like certain topics there, certain things that I said that needs further explanation because a lot of people will not take it lightly. People are sensitive. So I just have to like broaden it, the whole topic, for people to know where I'm coming from, why I said those things, and they will like start to understand why I said it. I'm just going to announce first that I am going to post videos every week from now on. Last video I said that I really didn't have the time because I just have to like prepare my papers for my interview on the 22nd of April. Yay! I'm going to have a green card soon. I'm really sure that I'm going to pass, because the only people that don't pass the interview for the green card are the people who are fake and doing fraud, and that's actually not us. Me and my husband are just anyways. So yeah, I'm going to post every week since my husband is demanding me to be more consistent, and he told me to post more often because he was like, I already bought you equipment and you're not even vlogging. Yeah, because it's my topics are not that easy to upload since I'm a beginner. I'm just starting on YouTube and my topics are not the kind of topics that you usually see on new YouTubers, like the unboxing or I'm doing this, doing that, I'm doing this and that, like bragging about their life, bragging about shit stuff, and I'm not like that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm talking about a lot of shit stuff, but I'm calling it out to somehow, if there's a chance that it can be corrected, it can be corrected, because a lot of these things for me are things that I find toxic or problematic, which is actually the topic of this video. And like I mentioned, it is about some of the things that I said on my video last week. And yeah, I think it is about the gifts. I told you about the story of my friend when she messaged me and she found out that I'm in US, and then she just like mentioned that I should bring gift when I go back to the Philippines, when I visit my family, when I go back there for a vacation. And she was like, oh, you should bring gifts. And I was like, is it like, how, why does it sound like it's an obligation? Like, what? Like, huh? So yeah, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to talk about right now. That gift, we call that in Filipino Pasalubong. And for me, growing up, I've experienced having Pasalubong, but it's kind of different from what I see how other people do it. So for me, the Pasalubong culture is starting to become problematic, and I'm going to explain why. Like what I said, I haven't experienced it the way other people are doing it, because in my case, as what I remember, Pasalubong is something that this person from another place, who's going to visit you and your family, they bring gifts voluntarily. Unfortunately, I've like experienced, heard, saw people do the thing that I really don't like, and it is demanding, demanding for pasalubong. And I don't understand. I mean, I was a little shocked about it because growing up, my father taught us not to, keep asking for stuff or keep demanding for stuff from relatives, from far away places like abroad, or even not, I mean, even within the Philippines, but not in the near the place where we live. And I grew up not demanding for it, so I just like think that pasalubong is like being given to you voluntarily without you asking it. I mean, if they give you something, that's good. If they didn't give you something, it's fine because it's not their obligation. But right now, as I've seen it and as I've experienced it, especially when I got here in the US, and some of my friends discovered that I'm here, they just like message me telling me about the gifts that they want once I go back to the Philippines to visit, and it kind of shocked me because the pasalubong before isn't like that. I mean, I don't know if other people really do it that way, but how my father taught me about pasalubong is not the same because we were really disciplined by my father. That's the reason, that's the reason why I don't, ask for gifts. And my husband actually can testify for that, because when the time he went to the Philippines to visit me, he before that he asked me what gifts I want to get, but I refused because I just like, no, don't give me gifts because it's not really important. What's important is you coming here, meeting me, and being together. That's more important. But he was just like thinking about what to give to me. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not used to it, so it's fine. But according to my husband, there were like people that he knew before in the Philippines that where he experienced that they asked for pasalubong, and actually they demanded for it. I think according to him, the whole family, like the mother and the girl, was asking for like some pasalubong before he goes to the Philippines, before he visits her, because she said that it's a Filipino custom. I know it's a Filipino custom, but the way they're doing it is not so Filipino thingy. I don't know. I mean, it's just a little embarrassing and disrespectful. Like, you're like begging, It's just like, I don't know why. I mean, I grew up in a poor family, but I didn't, or my father actually taught us not to do it that way because it's embarrassing. I mean, you're already poor, and it's just the only thing we have is our integrity. I mean, that's the only thing that we have, and we still have respect for ourselves, and we just like don't see ourselves as like begging for something. Like, whenever someone comes, so we take that opportunity to get something that we want and ask them to bring the for us in exchange for us to be entertaining you because you visited us. I'm like, no, it's not like that. I mean, my father taught us about receiving visitors, that the most important thing about having your visitor is their presence and not their present. And that's actually a thing that I brought until I got old. I mean, I'm old. I'm old. I'm old. I'm old. Okay, so it's kind of yeah, I have to accept that. But yeah, I mean, I'm already, I don't want to say my age, but yeah, I mean, at this age, I haven't experienced demanding from someone to, okay, just bring me this before you come here, bring me that. I mean, I've done that with some of my friends, but I mean, like, we do a lot of exchanges, like they bring me something, I bring something, something like that. But with experiencing having visitors from far places and visiting you, excuse me, and then giving you gifts, I haven't experienced that, so I never demanded. And other people that I experienced that demanded it just like left me in awe, because it's just not a thing that I it's just not the pasalubong thing that I really know. And it's, I know, I just like feel embarrassed for these people doing that, because it's like not really disrespecting the people that you were asking gift from, but you're disrespecting yourself, because you're like making yourself look like, you know, like an opportunist, or something like that. So it's just really bad. And another thing, one of the reasons why I think pasalubong culture is starting to become toxic is it's also becoming an obligation, because you know people are demanding. So it's starting to become an obligation, especially to people that live or work abroad. You know, the people working abroad, the OFWs, and they starting to like have this mentality that whenever I go home, I should bring something to my family, even if they've already struggled enough in other countries. I mean, not every OFW, not every Filipinos in another country go back to the Philippines successful. And it's not all the time they have this money, they have all these resources, they have all this stuff that they can bring back to the Philippines and give away to everyone. Because actually, the problem with the pasalubong thing is it's not just the family that benefits from it. Sometimes it's the distant relative, sometimes it's the neighbor, sometimes it's the friends that are not really, I mean, your friends that are not really close to you, and yeah, some opportunistic people. Just, I know that there's a lot of like different kind of people, but I mean, you should be focusing on your family when it comes to giving gifts, because that's the reason why you go to another country. It's to support your family, support their wants, support their needs. But then, because of this mentality, even your neighbors are waiting for the blessing that you're going to share to everyone. It's just like so ridiculous. And yes, that's the reason why I find it really, really toxic. And you just like don't understand this. Like, you're saying that, oh, we're not obligating her. Like, and the problem here is, even if you're not obligating her, because of this culture, I mean, it has been practiced for years, and these people that live abroad like already have this mindset, already have all these things in their head, and they feel that they are obligated, because whenever they go back to the Philippines and they didn't give gifts, they will hear something from these people, and sometimes they are being insulted, which is not right. I mean, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be insulted. They don't deserve to be treated that way, because they worked hard in another country and go back to the Philippines and give you stuff. I mean, if they didn't, it doesn't, I mean, you shouldn't feel bad, because first of all, it's not their obligation. And I just don't understand why people will, like, you know, the saddest part here is me. I've seen it firsthand, and like, you know, heard people talking about other people when they go back to the Philippines. They call it kuripot. Ganito, ganyan, nakakahiya. Did she really work in abroad? Did she really work in this company? Did she really this and that? You know, I mean, and then they will talk about her because she didn't give pasalubong, even though she's working at some, you know, they think some companies that give millions to their employees. There's no such thing, guys. So every cent that they earned is, you know, the fruit of their sweat and blood, and they worked hard for it, just to buy you gifts, and sometimes those gifts aren't being appreciated, which is really, really effed up. So it's just annoying. That's the reason why that's where I focused on that video that I made last week, because I've heard a lot about friends of mine talking about people asking them gifts when they found out that they live abroad or they study abroad or they work abroad. And I was like, oh, the pasalubong thing, that's so toxic. That culture is so toxic. That culture is so problematic. Because, I mean, I know before, when I was a kid, the pasalubong culture for me was very beautiful. The reason for it was the simplicity. The way I saw it when I was a kid. I mean, I just like pictured it as, one small family. The father goes to work, and then every time he goes back home, he buys this pancit and pandesal, which is considered a pasalubong, and that's enough for the family to be happy, and the kids, the wife, appreciate that. That's the pasalubong that I usually like picture in my head when I was a kid. I know a lot of you people will say that, stop acting like you didn't enjoy receiving pasalubong before. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed receiving pasalubong, but at least I did not demand for it. I've experienced receiving pasalubong, but I never ask for it. And my father actually taught us not to always ask for anything. When someone, someone asks you before they go visit you, and they'll ask you, what do you want me to get for you? And my father told me that don't always ask them, or don't always tell them what you want. Sometimes refuse, because not all the time these people have money. Not all the time these people have the resources or stuff that you want. They sometimes just do it for the sake of compliance, just to say that you're participating to this culture, that you're being a part of it. And I think that's the reason why people start to just tolerate it, because they say that if you're not bringing pasalubong, you're not a Filipino, which is, I mean, it's fine if you want to do it, really, but if you're really struggling, if you really don't have the money, if you really cannot buy the things that these people were asking you to get them, don't force yourself. It's not your obligation. Yeah, it's just something that I really want to release from my chest, because sometimes it's not just about me. This video is not just about me. There are people that want to tell you that as well, but that don't have the courage to open it up, because they're scared that they will be called kuripot. I don't know what kuripot in English is, but it's greedy. You're greedy, so I mean, it's not being greedy, it's just being wise. I mean, being wise enough not to spend a lot of money just to like give gifts to other people that some of them don't really appreciate in a way. I mean, they just want to get some stuff, and sometimes the people are just, they don't care about the people that are visiting. They just care about the gifts. And sometimes that's what's happening because of this pasalubong thing. Like, you just like want to receive visitors, or you just like, you're so excited to see other people, not because you want to see them, but you want to receive the gifts, the pasalubong that they have. And sometimes that just like, defeat the purpose of going back home, going back to the Philippines to spend time with your family, because it's just, you want to be with them, you want to be happy with them, but then you don't feel like it at all, because they just want the gift that you're giving them. They just want the things that they will get from you, which is really sad. So yeah, I mean, just want to share about these things, and hopefully you kind of understand why I don't really find pasalubong a good thing, a good culture at all, a good habit to do or keep doing, because it's just not I mean, before, like I said, it's nice, but now it's not. It's starting to become problematic, and that's how I see it. So yeah. That's it. Anyway, before I go, I just want to acknowledge this thing that I'm wearing. I just like want you to notice it. It's from Isabella Resin. It's Isabella dot Resin in Instagram. She's my friend and I'm actually a big fan of her. She makes a lot of beautiful resin accessories. Check her IG. You'll see all her beautiful creations. And yeah, you can message her if you want to order from her. And hi Belle, just since you always watch my videos, I love you. So yeah, that's it. If you still want to listen to my rants and stuff, just subscribe, click subscribe, and expect me every week. So see you on my next video. Bye bye.